Welcome to the show, everyone. I hope everybody had a happy holiday weekend. I can't even believe that it is almost in the middle of September already. I cannot believe it. We are networking here with everybody out there. We're live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We're going to be sharing the show in just a little bit with everybody. I'm going to go right in with my first guest, and they've been on once with me before. I have with me Mike and Kathleen Peacock. Her husband's never been on, and he's nervous wreck. But you know what? We're going to make him unnervous right now, because I like when my newbies get nervous. They make me nervous. Okay, you tell me, you are the owners of Turnstyle Properties, and I've been on your website. You do a plethora of things when it comes to properties. Today you said that you wanted to talk a little bit about, fixing and flipping, and we want to talk a little bit about that. Welcome to the show, but tell us a little bit about yourselves, because you're also problem solvers. Go ahead.
Hi.
That's a good start.
You've already got me stumped.
Well, let me talk about you. You've done, for this show, you have talked the last time you were on, and there's some of the different things that you can do for people who want to do some flipping on their own. They want maybe you to do that for them, but also you call yourself problem solvers. Let's talk about what that means.
Thank you, Carol, for having us today. And I like to be a problem solver. It's something that I have always kind of prided myself in. And when it came along this program that we got involved with, I just saw the opportunities to help people to, whether they need to get out of their house or they, got a property from a relative that maybe they didn't wanted, or maybe it's a family situation where they have to sell it in order for everybody to, get compensated. So what we like to do is we like to show people their options. Show them how, we can either make their property something so beautiful that they'll never want to leave, or come in and buy it for cash so that they can leave and get on with it.
Also, the last time, if I remember correctly, we even talked a little bit about how people who might even be upside down, and I didn't even know that people were, but you said yes, they are.
Oh, yes.
And you said that you can even come involved with let's say they were thinking about short selling. You actually can come in and actually upgrade so that they could get the money that they were really looking for. You talked a little bit about that too.
Yep. If they are, if they need to fix up the home, say they give us a budget, we come in and show a design. We, can upgrade their property, and maybe they want to stay in it after that, or maybe they still want to sell it, and then we can help in that process also.
So there's almost anything when it comes to property that they can help you with. Now, I want you to write this information down because they are valley-wide. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. You do free consultations with people.
Absolutely.
Their phone number is 480-687-5700. Their website is turnstyleproperties.com. Okay, let's talk a little bit about fix and flip. I'm going to go right to you, and I'm going to just ask you to come right here with me.
Okay.
You're right up on that.
All right.
One, okay. How long have you been doing fix and flips?
Wow, I started in 40 years ago.
So 40 years ago, you started
scary.
doing this. That's a really long time. How did you get involved in it?
Well, it was just a natural thing for me. Well, let's start this way. When just funny story. I'm just changing
I love it.
the whole thing around, right?
Let's go ahead.
When I was a younger, 3 or 4 years, now I'd say 6 or 7 years old, my mother bought me a toolbox with real tools for Christmas. The first thing I did was cut the arm off her rocking chair.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was hard for me to hide for a long time, but
Right. So you cut it off, but did you fix it?
Darn right I did.
You knew that if you didn't, you'd get in trouble, right?
Yeah.
So you got into this 40 years ago. What does it take to get into doing fix and flips? Do you buy the houses yourself? Do they buy them? How does that work?
Well, we would buy a property. Say somebody needs to get out of a property, come in there, do an assessment of the value of the home, take a look at all the things that are going to need to be fixed, and then come up with a very fair price for somebody.
give them a cash offer.
Yeah.
So they can move out, you know, just move their life as
Forward.
fast as possible, forward as fast as possible. Thank you for that. And then we'd go in, and this is the design person right here, and she would
Create a new home.
a new home, and then she'd give it to me and let my back do the work.
Okay, so what areas do you buy homes in?
We're pretty much all over the valley. We can go anywhere, actually, you know. And even this weekend, we were taking a trip up north into Greer, and we saw some properties there that we may even be interested in taking over. So, yeah, there's really nowhere we can't go. And, of course, you know, looking around the Phoenix area, we'd like to, you know, find neighborhoods that really need to be redeveloped. And that's, you know, a lot of what's going on now is a lot of people are putting their houses up for sale, and they're actually commanding top dollar for that. And it's kind of a scary trend to me, Carol, to see what's going on, because, you know, the prices of the houses, they've increased, 8.7% or something. And, you know, the interest rate is down, so everybody's excited about that, and they're going out and they're buying, but they're also putting in a lot more money than, you know, potentially in a couple of years they're ever going to get out of it, because, like we had talked about last time, that being that upside down in a property, you know, sure, you got a low interest rate, but what happens to the next guy that wants to come in and buy that property? You may not be able to get anywhere near what you paid for it.
So how do you go about helping somebody that might want to do that?
Well, I think education is the key. So, you know, unsolicited, most of I tell people to be careful and to be leery of that, because, you know, we had talked about the 2008 fall last time I was here, and that's exactly what I see happening now, is that, you know, people are buying at these extremely high rates, and then, you know, maybe, you know, 2 years down the road, now they got another kid, or maybe they're, you know, building their family, and that house isn't going to work for them. But now you try to sell that property, and guess what? You know, it's just like if you bought a car and you overpaid for it, and tomorrow you want to turn it in, well, you already lost $1,000. The same thing can happen in a housing.
So the best thing to do is to have that conversation, let's say with you. You would start off with them and kind of tell them, listen, you won't know until you talk to you, really. Right? Is that how it is for you too?
Absolutely. We can coach any client or any person into what we think is the right decision for them, but it's totally up to them.
Right. Obviously, ultimately, it's up to them. Probate cases. I want to talk a little bit about that, because last time we were here, we also did that too. And with probate cases, there are a lot of people, first of all, they don't understand, how do they come up? Let's talk about that.
Well, a probate case, you know, generally has lost a family member. Maybe it's been a family home for years and years and years. But now, trying to put that home on the market, it's outdated. It's over, you know, it needs to be fixed up, or you're not going to get any money out of it. Or maybe you got 5 kids in the family, and, you know, everybody wants a chunk of the pie. Well, it's not possible sometimes for somebody to buy the whole property and then split up the money, whereas if they sell it, then we can, you know, get in there, fix that property up, and be able to, you know, get it back on the market.
So if I'm not mistaken, when I listen to you, you can either buy their house cash,
Correct.
or you will help them by fixing that house to help them also sell that house at a better price.
Absolutely.
When we come back, we're going to talk further a little bit about this, because I want to tell you about our fix and flip, and you're not going to believe it. When we come back, I'm going to tell everybody about that. You know, guys, learning about all of this information on the show, it's all about that. And, you know, listen, you've never been on, it's hard. Everybody understands it, so don't really worry. When we come back, we want to talk further, because there's some do's and don'ts when it comes to fix and flip. Also, right now, with the world that we're living in, it's very important that you listen to this information. You might do something you might be sorry for. Their phone number is 480-687-5700. It's turnstyleproperties.com. We're going to keep on talking a little bit here. Just enjoy for the moment, okay? You don't have to put those on. You can talk to me. Are you getting any more relaxed at all?
Yeah, did I really screw that up?
No, not really, but don't say the word right now. So, it's okay, it's okay. But for right now, I want to ask you, what is your favorite part about doing what you do?
The end product. I really enjoy seeing, how do you be correct, seeing a pile of junk turn into something beautiful.
Mm-hmm. So when you buy property, we're going to talk about the kind of property you buy. You buy property that could either be as bad as a pile of junk,
Yep.
as you know, correct? So it could be any kind of property.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. When you went up to Greer and you were looking at properties, what kind of properties did you see up there?
Well, we stayed in what they called a resort. That was, you know, without seeing it beforehand. It was run down. We're the only people there.
Yeah. Except for people that actually lived there. It's like, what?
And it was terrible. I mean, and our first thought is, wow, this is someplace that we could buy, fix up, and what a great family destination for not only our family, but other families.
Are you going to do it?
We just might. That's a good possibility. We're thinking hard about it. We just got back in town yesterday, so we haven't really done all our homework yet.
The numbers.
But we will crunch numbers and see if that's one that I'm excited about.
Yeah, that's exciting. That is exciting.
Literally, we went in there, never even paid them. Nobody came and asked us for our money. They left the room open, said you can just go in, and so we did. And we left yesterday and left a check on the counter because nobody bothered to even. There was no office or anything.
It was a very, very strange experience. Very strange experience.
That is weird.
We were hoping we weren't going to end up, buried in the woods.
But you got there for a reason. Something happened where you were there for a reason because maybe you will buy it. Maybe you will. I'm just checking to see if Solar Sandy's up. I hope you can meet Solar Sandy because then you'll see me do what I do best. So, I can help you, but you gotta help me, okay? Okay? So we're gonna come back in just a second here now, okay? Throw this away.
All right.
So welcome back, everyone. And we're talking with Mike and Kathleen Peacock. They're the owners of Turnstyle Properties. And before we went on a break, I was telling you, I wanted to tell you about my little fix and flip. But I'm going to also mention what you did this weekend. At the break, we've been talking with Facebook with everybody out there. And you had mentioned that you went up to Greer and you went to what you said was called resort, and it really wasn't what it was said to be. And even though you hadn't seen it, a lot of people do that where we go and it looks really good. The pictures make it look like $1 million, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
But then you go there and it wasn't. But what you said was, this is what you do, not only with them. It just so happened that you went there, but this is what you do with other people too. Where you went up there and you see now a possibility. You said, hey, I really like the idea of this place. It's great. It's a great place to bring your family, to visit, to get out of the heat and all that, not only for yourself, but for other people. And you're actually thinking about buying it.
Yep.
Yes.
That's really cool. And that's what you do.
That's what we do.
Right. And that's neat. And that
Take a problem and fix it.
yeah, and how many people out there have problems? You know?
A lot of people.
A lot of people. And here's the thing too, you said too that your the properties that you purchase to flip it could be in any condition.
Absolutely any condition.
You almost like it the worst condition.
It's more fun.
For you.
Yeah.
So you come up with a price and you negotiate that with the client, and then a fair price for both of you, and then you'll turn it around and then you'll fix it and flip it. Or you also can help people who may not want you to flip it for them, that they can actually sell it, and then you can help them with that too.
Absolutely.
So not only do you do the work, but then you come in and you can help do the selling of the property.
Yep, definitely.
So I want to talk about a little bit about, you know, fixing and flipping. So when you talk about bad property, so in my family, we lost our house in the Northridge earthquake, and all of us did. All of us did. And my father's house was literally came off the foundation. So you talk a little bit about, you know, what's you know, as bad as that could get, right?
Right.
But out of something bad, this is why I brought this up, something good happened. Because when he bought his house, which was, I don't know how many jillions of years ago, you know, they had the cottage cheese ceilings, and they had all sorts of older stuff. And by having someone like you, who would come in there, let's say, it was you, it wasn't you, but it was someone like you,
Sure.
let's say, they came in, and what they did was they updated that home, and he got way more money for it than he ever could have dreamed to have imagined.
Right.
And that's where you come in. Come on, let's get right up on that.
I'm sorry.
Because you have a great voice. Let's
Well,
talk
thank you
about
for that.
Yeah, you do. So let's talk about that part of it. How does it make you feel when you work with people like that?
It's satisfying, if for lack of another word, to go in and not only take a eyesore, or I'm trying to be gentle in the words I'm using right now, and turn it into a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love to do. I love to walk away and see, yeah, we did that. This is what our company did. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling.
Yes. And when you work with people, you say that you work valley-wide, you do free consultations, you're rated with the Better Business Bureau, and you should check out their website, because your website is also all about education, because I think that's what you really are about more so than anything, is that you want to talk to people to teach them how to do what you do in a sense, or to understand it more, understand your world better. Is that correct?
That's correct. I mean, it's important to know, as far as the construction side, the rebuild side, or anything like that, is codes. Pardon my whistle there. There's a lot of building materials that were used past years, 30, long time ago, that
You can't use anymore.
can't use anymore,
Right.
and they need to be
Don't meet
replaced.
code, yeah.
Right.
Don't meet code anymore. Thank you.
And thanks for mentioning those cottage cheese, or as my husband calls them, popcorn ceilings,
Popcorn,
which
right.
he just, as soon as we walk into a property, that's one of the first things he sees, is like, oh no.
Right. But they have to go. And
They
they're-
have to go.
They have to
Right.
go.
And there's not only because I'm not sure if they're, I know aesthetically they're not appropriate anymore, but also I do think that I don't even know if they're even healthy. I don't
No.
even know.
No,
Right.
when you can go in there and you can look up and you can see all the years of, dust and dirt and, the
And when you
grease
see
from
particles
the kitchen
falling
and
on the floor, you know it's probably not that healthy, right?
But then you imagine that and you take a look at it and you say, with this clean, crisp, white ceiling, the aesthetics of that compared to somebody walking in and seeing your popcorn ceiling.
Right.
I mean, even that alone just shows people that you've done something to start the upgrade process.
Right.
So there's a lot of different things you can do just to, like I said, even just to get the property up to date and be able to sell it on your own, or, we still buy it from you and
Either
get it
way,
sold
either way, they get it done for you. Their phone number to call, it's 480-687-5700. They do free consultations. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they're valley-wide. Check it out on their website because it's a ton of information. It's Turnstyle Properties with an S, so properties.com. How do you decide, to price a property? How do you do that?
Well, we have to go in there and, you just start from the moment you walk in the door. What needs to be done? What needs to be upgraded? Do walls need to come out? Are they load-bearing walls? Are they, are all the kitchen cabinets crap and they have to go? Are the, do they have shag carpet from the 70s on the floor? That obviously has to go, but when you
I
start
wish
going
that would
through,
come back. I mean, it would be kind of neat.
Little 3-inch shag carpeting.
it was really good at hiding the dirt, let me tell you, but it's
My
not
mom
very-
used to love cleaning that stuff. She said, Mrs. Clean.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, we just, like I said, we start right from the door. you know, actually, that's a lot. We start right at the road, you know. We start right at the road and looking at the outside and what do we need to do to bring curb appeal? What do we need to, you know, is the fascia all rotted? Do we need drains? Do we need, you know? So right from the get-go, right when you stand there and look at the property, you start, you know, tallying up what you need. It's always helpful if the homeowner is honest and will tell you if there's any foundation problems perhaps, you know, because you can't really just walk in and tear up everybody's carpet and go, oh, there's a problem. They want to know before you do that.
Do you do any of the inspections and things like that for them, or how does that work?
Yes, we do. Again, we're not sanctioned by the state, but we can do a prelim inspection, which we do. We also have, as to speak to Kathleen's statement, we have a standard form that we use, that we've devised and used to give a quick assessment of the property value and what it would take to fix it up.
All right. So when you, let's say
I'd
somebody
be more than happy to share that with people too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you're working with people and they say, wow, that's a lot, I'm not sure how much I want to do that, do they have the option as to how much they do, or do you say, look, this is really what needs to be done in for order to get to what we want it to be? Is that how?
So if somebody is, you know, if somebody's wanting to stay in the property, of course, they set their budget and we can go through the numbers and say, this is what we can get in that number, this is what we can. If this is a must-have, then we got to take this out. You know, whatever needs to be done. So
again, that's what they're here for, to help you. Either they'll buy it from you and take care of it themselves, or they can help you get the money that you're looking for out of it by working with them. Real quickly, how do you save people money when they're looking to sell?
Well, right now I'm actually in class to get my own real estate license, so not having to deal with two agents, you know, that's 6% on this side and 6% on that side, and you know, it adds up to a lot of money. So I'm working on saving them there too.
Yeah, you know, I think that's what it's all about. What you wanted to be was a full service firm.
Absolutely.
Where we're talking fix and flips, or buying them for you and selling them, or however you want it to be done.
Buy and hold.
However it works for you, they are problem solvers. If you have a problem, they want to solve it. Their phone number to call, it's 480-687-5700. Write the number down, because you know what, sometimes you got to think about it, what you really want, but you can call them and they can come in and do a little consultation with you, tell them what they think that the property should be, and help you. Maybe they'll just give you cash is king, give you some cash for it. That phone number again, it's 480-687-5700. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. It's turnstyleproperties.com.